Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on PS5. Tonight, it's round 9. We're heading to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. So here we are then, all prepped and ready for tonight's Grand Prix at Canada at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and let's hope things go a little bit more smoothly than they did last night, where there was utter carnage at the very first corner, and it did significant damage to both our cars, to the point where we retired Lewis because there just wasn't much point keeping him on track, although George had an almighty fight back and actually managed to get all the way up to 4th place. An insane result, considering how much of a shunt we took and how far back we dropped at the beginning of the Grand Prix as well. Still can't quite get over how well we were able to do with George last night, and that was a mighty result. But we're going into Canada with a couple of new parts and a lot of replacement parts, and a high probability of having to take penalties with Lewis, as he has taken quite a lot of powertrain damage over the last couple of big shunts he's had. So let's just take a quick look at how bad his power unit selection is. So there we go, one engine that's already pretty much toast, another engine took an almighty whack and is already down from pretty much brand new to 76%. I mean, it's still viable, but it's going to mean that we'll probably need a 4th engine for Lewis at some point. In terms of ERS units, well, it's even worse. Again, one unit pretty much toast. We were on the 2nd unit, that took an almighty whack and is now down to just 60%. We've already bought one spare. Hopefully we can get through the season just using that one additional one, which we have yet to take the penalty for, but who knows. And then gearboxes, once again. We've got a brand new gearbox that was destroyed in his first big shunt. And then this gearbox, which was pretty much brand new. Again, massive damage taken to that. So it's not looking good. We've got 2.5 gearboxes left for Lewis, and one of those we have yet to take the penalty for as well. Yeah, it's it's going to be tough. I mean, just for comparison, this is what George's situation looks like. As you can see, his main engine's still very healthy. Still got the 3rd engine untouched. The 1st engine's still fine for wear and tear in practice sessions. It's the same with ERS units. His first one's still viable for practicing, 2nd one's still very strong, and then with gearboxes, again, his first one is still viable for practice, the 2nd one's still mighty. He's still got 2 completely untouched. George might have to take a penalty at some point. We have bought him a new ERS unit. Again, we have yet to take the penalty on that, but yeah, he's in a much stronger position in terms of powertrain components than Lewis. So we are almost certainly going to have to buy Lewis a new engine. We can't afford to do it here, and I'm debating whether or not we take the penalties here or wait till we can afford a new engine and then just take all the penalties in one go. What circuits have we got coming up? Let's have a look. So we go to Spielberg next. We don't want to take it there because unfortunately the penalty system doesn't work properly, so the penalty should apply to the sprint, which would then allow us to try and catch back up to a decent starting position through sprint quali, well, through the sprint itself to where we start on the main grid, but it doesn't work that way. It's kind of a mishmash of different eras of sprint rules, unfortunately. Silverstone is ideally a circuit we avoid taking penalties because it is just such a fast circuit that, you know, it can be a lot of ground to try and maintain. I think Hungary is probably going to be our best bet of the upcoming races for penalties. Plus, we would then also slot all those new components in just in time for Spa. So let's see if we can hold off until Budapest, if possible. That gives us plenty of time to actually buy that engine for Lewis as well. But we've got to go 3 more races effectively before we can take those penalties. So, yeah, it's going to be a little rough, but we should be okay. Let's take a quick look at where our car sits. We have got new side pods on the car, I believe. So, if we compare it with Ferrari, there you can see that's actually showing Ferrari. We want to do it this way. There we go. So you can see we have the fastest car in terms of top speed. Although they have a very quick car themselves, they are better in acceleration than us. But then we have the edge pretty much everywhere else that counts. The speed difference about 0.5 kilometre an hour. Okay, let's compare it to Red Bull, who have been a bit all over the place recently. And again, not a great car at the moment for Red Bull. 6th in speed, 11th in their DRS, average in their downforce, although they're very, very good in the dirty air, as you can see. And their speed difference is actually a bit more significant. It's, 0.7 kilometers an hour? Who else has been quick recently? McLaren actually had a good result. Let's have a quick check-in with McLaren. Their car is coming along. Alpine didn't really show any pace because they got taken out completely in the last race, but they've shown some promise this season, and their downforce levels look good. Speed is not bad. Acceleration isn't great, but then neither is ours. Their DRS is pretty strong. Alpine could be one to watch here. Let's take a quick look at Williams, because Yuki has been phenomenal so far in terms of his pace. We're looking at about middle of the road on their speed, acceleration, DRS a little below average. Their medium downforce is terrible, but they're good in the lows, good enough in the low speed and pretty good in the high speed. Yeah, we'll see how Williams do, and we'll check out Aston Martin as well. And again, look, it's another situation where they've got good downforce levels and not much in terms of speed. Average speed, very poor acceleration, good DRS, poor dirty air. So on paper this should be another easy race for us, but if something happens in the first corner again like it did last night, that would be disastrous for us. So, let's think about what we want to do in terms of our race targets. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat first of all, though. We've got F1 Clips, the Aussie Potato, that's George, to everyone else. Mr. Water is in as well. Horrific Gamer, Toby is here as well. Good to see you all. And hello to everyone else who hasn't said anything yet. Right, let's set those objectives. So the incentive is to get one car into Q2. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Farah is here as well. Welcome, Farah. So we're going to go 2 cars in the top 4 and both cars into Q3. We're going to go for the fastest lap. It is going to be a wet race as well here at Montreal, so that's going to add an extra layer of interest and intrigue. Finish position streak, but a new one to start. 1 driver in the top 6 for 2 races, and we are 3 races done with our qualifying streak. Okay, let's just take one last look at the warehouse. So both cars on the brand new chassis, both cars on the new front wing, both on the new rear wing. The brand new side pods are on. We haven't got the underfloors yet. It's still being manufactured, so we're just going to hope we don't break an underfloor this weekend. And both cars on the most recent suspension as well. Okay, right. Let's head to Canada.
Formula One has arrived here in Quebec, and we're excited to get underway. Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the tracks we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. medium speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track.
In the Constructors' title battle, it's Mercedes who are currently leading. But there are a lot of contenders and plenty of races still to go.
There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
So let's get through practice. I'm trying to remember. I think it's George's turn to sit out tonight, isn't it? So let's put Teo in the car. So we want to go soft tyres for Teo, and we want to go, it's normally 21 laps for a run, so we're going to go 28 laps for Teo. There we go. Let's take out the good stuff, put in the practice parts. Go. And let's do the setup. So I have half a dozen different setups to choose from. Let's start with a 4.5, 11.5, a 1.9, a 3.15, and a 1. And let's see how we do with that. Right, Lewis's car. This is going to be a little bit more painful. So, the 3% engine is probably not going to... Oh, it might last a session. Yeah, it should last a session. I don't know if it'll last another session beyond this one. It's going to be painfully slow. The ERS unit will not last, so we are going to have to use this ERS unit. I don't know if we're going to be able to make 3 more races, on that ERS unit. And we'll go that gearbox. There we go. Yes, lots of orange. We're going to go 21 laps and drop the pace. And let's go with a slightly different setup. So we're going to go with a 2.5 and a 12. A 4.6, a 3, and a 0.35. So a very, very different setup here on this car. And we'll see how that goes. Right, let's send them to the track.
Just a radio check.
Copy, radio check.
Loud and clear.
So radio check. That's loud and clear.
Okay. So we do have a little bit of Formula One news. Obviously we're heading to Singapore this weekend. First time with the revised track layout that we've seen in game a couple of times now. And we have confirmation that Zhou Guanyu is going to be with Alfa Romeo / Sauber next season. He is now confirmed for next year. So with Bottas already confirmed, that is Sauber's driver lineup for next year locked up.
Just be mindful, pressure's still low.
So a few less seats. We do know that Daniel Ricciardo is going to be back in the paddock this weekend for AlphaTauri, but Liam Lawson is going to be driving. So I don't know if that means Ricciardo might get a practice session just to see how his hand is doing, or if he's just there just to sit in a watching capacity in the team garage. But Lawson is going to be driving the Grand Prix. So hopefully Lawson puts on a good show. Be interesting to see if he can do enough to stake a claim for a seat somewhere next season. But obviously we want to see Danny Rick back up to his up to his best as well. So,
Let us know what your
interesting to see
thoughts
what
are.
happens in terms of those seats. We've got feedback on Hamilton's car, and it is 76%. So, yeah, that different style of setup we went with on Lewis's car has not worked at all. We'll leave him out there for a few more minutes.
Balance check.
And, oh my god, it's even worse for Teo.
Feels good.
65%. We're going to call him in immediately. Alright, I'm starting to wonder if we need to switch these around. So, let's go 2.5, 12, 4, 6, 3, and a 0.35. Let's have a look at that. I'm not sure if that's going to do it either. Maybe. I've got another similar setup. Let's try going to that. So that is a 3 on the front, a 12, a 4, 6, a 2.95, and a 0.3. Doesn't really look a huge amount different. We'll give that one a go. Let's have a look. Actually, no, that is off on the cornering. Yeah, it's almost essentially exactly the same. I'm wondering if I need a 5.5. All right, let me have a look at the book for last season, or last game. I don't have anything more extreme than a 4.6, but it is a slightly different 4.6. So it is a 3.05, a 2.5, a 12, a 4.6, 3.05, and a 0.45. And that looks a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. So we'll try that, see how that works. And yeah, we've got to see what's going to happen with Lewis's car when that gets back to the garage. How's his engine doing? Down to 2%. Yeah. Alright, Lewis is on his way back in. Okay, so the 12 is good. Alright. What about the roll bar? That needs to be changed. So, I've got a few different 12s in the book for last year. And I've got a couple in this one as well. So, let's go with a 3.7. A 3.5 on the front. A 3. And a 0.45. That is not going to work. I can see very clearly that's not going to work. Let's have a look at last year's setups. I've got a 3, a 12, a 3.7, a 3.15, and a 0.45. That is also not going to work. Clutching straws here. Okay, let's go a little bit more extreme. Let's go 4, 12 to 8. 3.15 and 0.75. Let's have a look at that. That might work. Might need a little tweak. Let me just go to a 3.1. I'll give that a go. Evening, Andy. What happened last night? Carnage and chaos happened last night. And yes, as Farah has mentioned, this game is now 25% off for the Deluxe edition. I don't think the Standard edition is on sale. I'm not sure. But the Deluxe edition is 25% off on the PlayStation Store for the next couple of weeks. What do you get with the Deluxe edition? You get, the game, and you also get those additional scenarios that you can do as well. You get like an extra 12 different scenarios that you can try out. Some of them are actually pretty good. So you get the chance to do some like equal tire performance races. The one in Japan also seems to have a reverse grid on it as well, which is kind of cool. That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. But yeah, there's some really interesting little scenarios and full race replays that you can get as part of the Deluxe upgrade that aren't in the base game. And they're good fun for a single, if you just want a single race and you don't want to have to worry about a career race, you can just pick up one of those and do that. And yes, as far as right, when the game was first announced, Deluxe owners got 4 days early access as well, compared to the standard game. But that is long since gone. So. Honestly, given the challenges that I've played so far, I don't think the Deluxe upgrade is that bad. I think it's actually kind of cool. It's not that expensive as a standalone in terms of the difference in price. There's a £10 difference between the two versions. Yeah, I would say it's a worthwhile purchase on sale right now at 25% off. Definitely. Don't have any issues with that at all. And there we go. That's more like it. Got 100% on Teo's car. Let's call him in. I'm not sure what the price of the Deluxe upgrade is on its own. I imagine that you can buy it separately if you just have the standard edition. That has been pretty much the case with the Jurassic World games that Frontier have done.
So we can have a balance check.
It's usually been around £15 for the upgrade, which is more than the difference between the two games. We're at 97% for Lewis, so we are going to need to make a little tweak. Maybe that tweak I made was an unnecessary one, and I need to correct that. We shall see when he gets back to the garage. Let's go ahead and write Teo into the book, potentially. 2.5, 12, 4, 6, 3. And a 0.45. Okay, so it's a slight variation what I've got here from this year's setups. 2.5, 12.0, 4.6, 3.05, and 0.45. There we go. $11.99 says Barra. Okay, so yeah, it's slightly more expensive to just buy the game and then buy the separate Deluxe upgrade, but for $41.25, yeah, I think the Deluxe edition is definitely worth it. This game is definitely more challenging than it was last year, although if you're a serious hardcore player like myself, then it will probably still be a little bit too easy than you would like, as we are seeing so far this year. But the randomness and the chaos that can happen is increased. You've got the team switching ability. So we saw with the crash last night just how chaotic things can get. And it does look like I did unnecessarily make that tweak. Let's pull that back. We are going to have to correct the toe. Let's do that. The weather's a lot more predictable this time around than it was in the last game, which helps, even if you don't have the most up-to-date weather centre, or the most high-spec weather centre. It still seems to be reasonably accurate, which is good. There's no weird weather patterns that are just completely beyond what you're expecting. The pit crew training is a nice addition. On the whole, it's a massive step forward. There's obviously still room for improvement, and I expect to see another step forward with the next edition. But yeah, I would quite easily recommend the Deluxe edition on its sale price at the moment, because I think it's worth it. Alright, so we've made the changes to Lewis's car. We've got him onto medium tyres for this run. We're going to go with a 30-lap run. Might have to change out that engine. Oh yes, definitely going to have to change out that engine. Otherwise he's not going to make it to the end of his run, let alone the checkered flag. So there we go. We are now officially done with engine 1 completely. That's not great. Is ERS unit... No, that's not going to last. And let's see. For George, we want to go. I think 45 laps for George on those hard tyres. Setups in the books, so let's take them to the track. Alright, let's see if we can nail Lewis's setup this time round. Is the sausage always upside down? In what context? It's a very random question, and I really don't know how to answer that. Shane, the setups are the same for reserve driver and main driver. Well, no, that's kind of how things work. I mean, the reserve driver provides that feedback to the main driver whose car is occupying. It's set up for with the first team driver in mind. It's not set up for the reserve driver. So I mean, it's kind of given over to a reserve driver to try it out, the setup, see how it works. Give maybe a little bit of feedback, and then the fine tuning is done if needed by the main driver when he gets back into the car. We just need to click the toe once to get that to where it needs to be for 100%. So very happy with that. Going to get near to the end of Lewis's run, I think. Yep, just another lap or two. There we go. So we'll just increase the tow to 0.85. That now should be a 100% setup. And we'll find out for definite in Q3, or FP3. I think as well, for the next few races, we're going to keep putting Teo and George's car where necessary rather than Lewis's, just to keep that little bit of extra mileage off Lewis's car, because it really can't handle, you know, any additional unneeded mileage at this point. And then once we've got the penalties, you know, served, we'll start splitting them equally again. But obviously we're not going to run him next race because there'll be a sprint. Excuse me. Yeah. A little lump in my throat there. Yeah, we won't run him in Spielberg because it's a sprint weekend, and we need that time for George. But we will run him in George's car at Silverstone and also in Budapest as well. Why were those sprint races in 22? I don't know. You'll have to ask them. You'll have to ask Frontier. I mean, I can understand, you know, it was their first attempt at the game. They wanted to just get the actual Grand Prix themselves nailed and get those down. So maybe it was a deliberate thing, just to have something to add into the next game, so that it was more of an iteration than just a slightly different roster. Who knows? Maybe it was deliberately held back for that reason. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have the time to do sprint racing on top of everything else, you know, given their deadline. Right, into the final practice session. We're going to go with some soft tyres for Lewis. Going to go with about 24 laps of fuel. And gearbox is okay. Do I think I can get away with using the ERS for just 20 laps? I think I can. So we'll try and just kill that ARS unit as well. As for George, he's now onto his medium tyres. He is going to run for about 40 laps. Drop his pace. All done and dusted, and let's send them to the track again. Shame this playthrough is not real life, as you can't wait to see Merc back on top. Well, we'll see what happens next season. But I think it's unlikely anyone's going to, you know, take the constructors away from Red Bull until the new regulations drop now. Maybe 2025. They are bringing in some changes to the aero rules a little bit in 2025, because the whole purpose of the ground force era of cars, you know, that we've got now was to try and deal with the dirty air issue, and that's never ever going to go away while cars, you know, are as they are. They're just too complicated aero wise to eliminate dirty air entirely, but up until the rule changes in 2022, cars were losing around about 50% of their downforce trying to follow in dirty air. You know, the aero load on their car was significantly reduced as soon as they got into that dirty air of the car in front. So the new rules, the aim is to try and reduce that loss as much as possible. Now they only lose,
Balance check.
I think it's crept back up again. I think when the rules first came out, the loss of aero performance was only about 20% following another car. It has since crept back up into around about 30-35% now, as the cars have been iterated upon and engineers have done what they do and tried to be clever about reclaiming some of that aero performance, finding loopholes and workarounds in the regulations. And of course the simplified rear wings also mean that the slipstream effect has been reduced since these new cars have been brought in as well. But the FIA have announced that they will be introducing some new rules for the 2025 season rather than waiting until the big engine shake-up of 2026 to try and arrest that creep of aero loss, going too much further, and try and squeeze it back down towards the 20%-ish area again. Evening, Baron. Right, there we go. Lewis is in, and let's add that setup to the book as well. So that's a 4.0, 12.0, 2.8, 3.15, and 0.85. There we go. And we got Lewis up to maximum preparation for the Grand Prix. How am I this evening? Yeah, not bad. Just a little wary of turn one, given what happened last night. When do no tyre blankets come in? I think they come in at the end of this season. And there we go, both our drivers are fully prepped and ready for the Grand Prix. Why is that happening? Cost. Cost and sustainability, you know. Am I happy with my new furniture? Yes, I still haven't actually finished building it all. I've still got one unit left to build, but I've not been in the right frame of mind to go through all the palaver of clearing everything out of the way to build it, put it in, and then spend the rest of the day just shuffling bits of stuff around. So at some point I do need to sit down and do that, maybe this weekend. Been putting it off. I did hurt my back doing the last lot. I'm just not keen to aggravate it again. Okay.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
The circuit Gilles Villeneuve isn't a permanent track, so circuit evolution is high over the Grand Prix weekend. Overtaking is possible, but getting a well-timed lap in qualifying will help any driver.
In terms of George Russell and his form, Karun, how's he going to be feeling, do you imagine?
It hasn't been a great showing from the team's drivers so far. Neither will want to be left behind, and I'm sure they'll both be looking to pull ahead today.
So here we are, ready to resume.
Of course, Karun talking about our practice pace as opposed to how we're actually doing in Grand Prix where we are crushing it. Unless we're being crushed, literally, in turn one collisions. Right, let's see. Sponsors, everything is done. So, action needed. We have destroyed that ERS unit now. It has died a death. So, let's move on to that one. I get the feeling I might need a second new ERS unit for Lewis as well. We're going to go with that gearbox, that's fine, and going to go with a new engine for tonight. As for George, we'll give him the same new engine, so we can't be accused of favouritism. And we'll go with that gearbox. That ERS unit will last the Grand Prix, but it's already getting close to the 40%. So, right, one flying lap in Q1. Let's see if we can get through comfortably. So Montreal, something of a specialty circuit for Lewis in real life. He's got a lot of wins here. Got his first Grand Prix win here.
We should do some work on the brakes.
Coming.
Although he has had a few famous mishaps here as well. Thinking specifically of 2011 when he collided with Button on the main straight in the rain, which put him out of the race. Yes, he did receive a helmet from the Senna family here as well. I think for beating Senna's qualifying record, beating his pole position record, if I remember right. 2011 was the best F1 race ever, says Andy. It was a fantastic Grand Prix. It had everything, you know, including a massive rain delay halfway through it as well.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
And circuit's all clear. You're good to go.
Okay, Russell is very, very quick, as you would expect. Is Lewis quicker? No. Didn't Jensen win that one after Seb locked up? Didn't so much lock up as just got on the damp stuff and lost a little bit of grip. So he ended up running very wide. But yeah, that was at the end of Sector 1 on the final lap. Ah, the Ferrari gets in the way. So, it's going to be a slow final sector for
and
Russell.
if we just get that delta negative, and we will box into this lap.
Copy.
And there you see how much time he lost. He was purple in the
Stay
first
tight
two
on that
sectors
delta.
and then lost over
Circle
half a
car,
second in the
box,
final
box.
sector. But it'll be enough to get him through, so we don't need to go out again this session. Let's see if we have any close calls in qualifying. Max on his outlap did get held up a little bit there, I think possibly by Piastri or definitely by Leclerc, but gets across the line and still does a decent time. To go half a second behind his teammates. That's some good pace from Perez. I wonder if he got a toe to do that, or if he just naturally has that pace here. Yuki coming up to the line. And is still in the drop zone. So is Albon. So not a good showing for the Williams drivers here at the moment. Is Yuki going to drop straight back in again? No, I think that's it for Williams. I think they're out. Williams are out. Okay, that is a bit of a shock that at least one of them didn't get through. We've got Zhou driving towards the line. Can he get through? He only needs to find 18 thousandths to get through. And he can't... Oh, no, he can't improve. Somebody else just improved. I'm not sure who it was. I didn't see. Who has just crossed the line? It's one of the Haas drivers, I think. Where are the Haas drivers? It's Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg has snuck through. So there we go. Gasly is on the fastest lap. Doesn't improve his position, but was already through. So we're going to lose Daniel Ricciardo, Zhou, Tsunoda, Albon and Bottas. Biggest surprise, both Williams are out in Q1. They've looked pretty quick so far this season, but no pace here. Maybe the rain will be a little bit kinder to them in the race, who knows. Right, into Q2. Same tyres. Again, we're going to go for just a single lap run. And we're being followed out immediately by Gasly. There's Lewis popping out. See if Gasly's going to try and sneak a toe off the back of us. Hamilton looking quick in the first sector.
So just get that delta negative.
Somebody's gone even quicker in the middle sector than Lewis. And in the final sector, someone's gone faster. It must be Gasly with that slipstream.
Just keep an eye on that delta.
It was Gasly getting a slipstream off the back of George. But both of our drivers have done a quick enough time to get them through. So once again, we will be sitting in the garage for the rest of the session. falls by the wayside this time. Sainz starts his flying lap. He's got clear track in front of him, so shouldn't have any issues here whatsoever. And is only 8th, now 9th. As Piastri slots into 7th place. There's some real pace in that McLaren here this weekend. Here comes Leclerc. And Leclerc goes up to P6. Stroll across the line. Doesn't look to improve. Sainz goes out to start his next flying lap. This is his chance to get himself through, as Alonso is on a flyer right now. Alonso improves his time slightly, but not his position. Evening, Victor. So here comes Leclerc on his flying lap. Sainz a little bit further back on his flying lap. Leclerc is through, no improvements. And Sainz just squeaks in. Okay, now we've seen that the McLarens have some pace. Piastri is through. It's all down to Norris, and Norris is going to get a slipstream here on the back. On the back of, is that Ocon in front of him? It is. So Ocon and Norris pushing. I don't think Ocon's going to get through, but Norris has got a real chance here. Actually, maybe Ocon has got a chance to get through. We'll see. Ocon goes across the line. Improves, but not enough. Norris does knock out Sainz. Sainz is gone, along with Ocon, both of the Haas drivers, and Mick Schumacher. Another disappointing qualifying for Sainz.
That's P4.
How often have we said that today? Well, this season.
Nice work.
Even in harmony. And a strong showing from McLaren. They're up to both getting both their cars into Q3 on merit. But got a penalty for Lewis, haven't we? We've got a 3-place penalty, maybe a 6-place penalty because of the shunt. Alonso obviously is going to have a penalty as well because of his role in orchestrating the shunt. With that in mind then, I think I am going to put a new ERS unit in for Lewis because he needs another one. There's no way he's going to be able to do the whole season on effectively just one ERS with just 2 after the next race or 2. That's going to be pricey. So we're going to drop Lewis back, a long way back in this race. So let's save that engine for George. This means Lewis will probably take pole, but he's obviously going to drop further back. At least 13 places back. And of course, I'm assuming we're going to get pole. We haven't actually topped the timing sheets yet, I don't think, in qualifying. We haven't really been pushing, amazingly hard for it, but we will in this session.
We'll focus on the brakes a bit.
Copy.
So, 1 lap here on these tyres, then we'll do 2 laps onto the new softs, and that'll be our proper pole position shootout. With Lewis tucked in behind Max, actually, this could be a pole position worthy time, actually, without the need for another set of tyres.
So the circuit should be all clear. So you're good to go.
So all clear ahead. Good to go.
Okay, so Max is fastest in Q1 in the first sector. He's on slightly grippier tyres. There's a bit of traffic up ahead. Is that going to cause a little bit of problems at the hairpin? It's a McLaren. No. Hamilton has the purple middle sector. Might have been a slight delay getting the power down there. I think we're probably a little bit too far off to get a slipstream. The Aston will probably get one though. So 1:11.1 for Max. 2.5 tenths off for Lewis, then Stroll. Russell goes P1 with a 1:11.0. He got a mighty toe on the final part of the race, part of the lap there.
A P1
To go purple there.
We will box end of this lap.
And McLaren will certainly have helped him out on that one. So let's get the drivers back into the garage. Swap over their tyres. Give them enough fuel for 2 flying laps. And see how we do. Looks like Russell is going to get a nice little tow from a McLaren again here.
Out lap critical.
Copy.
Let's check confidence levels. So, peak confidence already for Russell.
So let's just focus on the out lap.
And a little bit below for Lewis. It's a pretty close top 6 though, look at that. 2.5 tenths, 3.5 tenths between the top 6. So Russell winds up.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
And Lewis does the same.
Circuit's all clear.
Got a Red Bull coming out. That's going to potentially be an issue for Lewis. Oh no, it's going to be an issue for George. Oh, I really hate the way the cars are so slow coming out the pits here. They get onto the track and immediately just slow to a crawl, and it just ruins your lap if you come across one doing that. That's a problem from the last game that hasn't been addressed. So this is a bust this lap for George. Let's see what Lewis can do. The drive to the line. Russell going through the final chicane now. And here comes another Red Bull coming out of the garage, but it won't affect us this time because we're on a cool-down lap now. Hamilton takes provisional pole. I don't know what the time is because we have an out lap showing, so let's have a look. A 1:10.9 for Lewis. That is nicely into peak confidence. Which Red Bull is that in front of us? It's Perez. So it was Verstappen who destroyed Russell's lap. But Russell is in strong peak confidence now. I'm actually going to take manual control of both drivers here. Get them clear of the cars in front of them.
Happy to start reducing that management.
Yeah, copy, all good. Pick up the pace.
Understood.
So there we go, Russell into clean air. Lewis will eventually catch up to the back of that McLaren, but I don't think it will be enough of an issue. In fact, the McLaren's diving into the pits. So, there we go, clean run for both drivers on their final flying lap. There's just 18 thousandths of a second between them. Will either driver improve here? They should do. Improvement for George. This is where Seb lost it in 2011. Improvement for Lewis, but neither have gone purple in that first sector. Stroll on pole with a 1:10.9.03. Oh. Improvement in the middle for Russell. No improvement in the middle for Lewis. This is going to go down to the wire as to whether or not we can actually beat Aston Martin, let alone each other. George up to the wall of champions. And does not take pole. He goes second. What about Lewis? Second. Aston Martin have pulled off a blinder, and I think Stroll is sitting on a... Yeah, he's sitting on a McLaren's backside. No wonder. He got a toe all the way around off the back of... is that Piastri? No, Norris. He got a toe off Norris all the way around on that lap. No wonder he got such a huge burst of speed, because he's 9/10 of a second faster than Alonso. Oh, hello. We're still going. We're going to cancel the call in and just go for it, and we'll run out of fuel. But maybe Lewis is purple. No battery left.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
They have got enough fuel. Well, yeah, they have got enough fuel to do it. It's just it's battery now.
So that's P2. Okay, well done, mate.
Let's keep pushing, guys.
Russell can't improve. And Nork and Lewis, they just didn't have the battery in the end. Ah, so close. So close. But there we go. Aston Martin with pole position. Did not expect that. I'm back. Sorry, just grabbed a drink from the fridge while qualifying was finishing there. So, Lance has pole position. Lewis second, but with at least a 13th place penalty. One part of that is for the collision that he was swept up in at the first turn of Barcelona. And 10 places of that is for the new ERS unit we put in this car because desperately needs it, unfortunately. I didn't want to take a penalty here if we could avoid it. So that is going to put George into P2. Then it's going to be Perez, Max, Leclerc, Gasly. Alonso has at least a 3-place penalty. So that's going to drop him outside of the top 10. Yeah, this could be interesting. And then we've got Piastri ahead of Norris.
Race day has arrived, and the time has almost come for these drivers to fight it out, wheel to wheel.
Named after the legendary Canadian driver, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve has been host to plenty of first-time winners. Jean Alesi, Lewis Hamilton, Robert Kubica and Daniel Ricciardo all got their maiden victories here. The weather is very overcast here. Strategies might have to be quite flexible going into today's race.
But don't forget, there's always excitement in Montreal, and the odds are that this will be another Grand Prix to remember.
So let's see where Lewis is going to start. Oh, 19 place penalty. He's got 3 separate penalties from the collision. So this is probably going to be even worse for Alonso. Yeah, it better be worse. That's awful. We got penalised 3 times for being involved in a crash that wasn't our fault. We played no real part in. We just got swept up in it. I hate the way the penalty system is applied in this game. So we may as well throw that new gearbox in as well then, if he's already starting at the back of the grid. Take the penalty for that now as well. Just wish I could afford a new engine. I mean, I could theoretically go into debt. Do I want to do that? I've been financially responsible up until now. I don't think I can look this gift horse in the mouth, though. I think I kind of have to. This is going to really piss the board off. Because we're going to throw in another 7.5 million expenditure. So we're going to be in debt after this Grand Prix. There's no way around that. But I say we need these parts for Lewis, and if we're starting at the back of the grid, we may as well take them now and not have to serve more penalties again later in the season. It's not ideal, but it is going to make for a hell of a fight back through the field. What did you miss? Is that from the last race? Yeah. The game has this weird way of, if you hit multiple vehicles, you get multiple penalties. And even though we didn't cause the crash, because we were involved in it and someone shunted into us, and we obviously made contact with 3 other cars from the point that we were shunted, means we got 3 penalties. Alonso had better be at the back of the grid as well, or else there is something seriously wrong with this game when it comes to penalties. He wiped out 4 cars and did massive damage to Lewis's. It effectively wiped out Lewis as well. Right, strategy. Let's have a look. It is going to rain about halfway through the race, just over halfway through. So maybe soft into is the way to go. Probably looking at around that 40 before we need, maybe that 42 before we need to make the switch onto inters. So that is a very aggressive 2-stop. We can probably 1-stop that actually. If we go mediums. And then let's have a look at hard tyres, which would not necessarily be ideal. Would actually be 2 seconds slower. Double soft is still the quickest way to go, assuming that the weather is as expected. Yeah. A single stop on hards is 6 seconds slower than 2 stopping on softs, and 4 seconds faster than 1 stopping on mediums. So it looks as though that's going to be our strategy. Let's go inters and soft and box on lap, what was it, 42, and lap 21's about halfway. Yeah. This does give us the option to go super aggressive on those tyres, so, which will be certainly helpful for Lewis having to fight his way through from the back of the grid. In terms of fuel, we are going to take quite a bit of fuel out. 1, 2, 3, 4 laps of fuel. We're going to go very aggressive off the line. And for Lewis, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are just going to go a little aggressive off the line. I'm not going to use the battery. I'm just going to push the tyres and the fuel. Alright, there we go. So, additional penalties for Lewis means he's definitely starting behind Alonso. But Alonso had better be starting at the back alongside me.
70 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix await our drivers here in Montreal. And here's George Russell settling in for the race.
A second place start for them today. They'll be aiming for a podium, but could they even sneak the win?
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Good start from George. Has he got the jump on Lance? I don't know. Alonso is in P11. Are you kidding me? He only got 3 place penalty. Oh, that's such bullshit. That is utter horseshit.
Yeah, we just want to grow this gap.
Copy. Okay, let's go for it.
Yep.
Just show me what you've got now.
Yeah.
Oh, got a crash in front.
We've had a big crash here. We have debris.
This is always a risk when you start near the back of the grid. It wasn't that bad in the end.
not much that the team can do about that.
Let's take a look at tyres. See who is doing what. Zhou got a penalty for that collision. Got a fair few on mediums. Everyone else on softs. George absolutely flying at the moment. 0.7 of a second clear from Lance. Saving Lewis's ERS. And Marcel's here. Welcome, Marcel. I'm actually going to just drop the pace down just a touch for Lewis at the moment. Keep pushing with George. Give him the opportunity to break away from Stroll before the DRS kicks in and Perez gets past him. Wow, Perez's tyres have taken a bit of a whack somewhere, unless he's not using new tyres. He might be using scrubs. Tyres from a single quali run. And you see Perez having a look.
DRS has been enabled.
Alright, DRS is active, so let's drop the pace down a touch for George, start rebuilding the battery, and now let's go for it with Lewis.
Just keep the pressure on Lewis, you can do this.
Should be getting him into peak confidence very quickly tonight. And there we go, past Yuki already. Straight onto the back of Bottas. And this is why I saved the battery for the first 2 laps, because I knew we'd have the pace to stay with them without using it, and then we can use it to overtake while they're rebuilding their battery. And that is Bottas overtaken. Right, up next, Albon and Zhou. Perez is past Stroll, 2.5 seconds behind Russell at the moment. Did I mention the McLaren livery for Singapore? Mentioned it last night. Yeah, the stealth livery. And I was just bemoaning how special liveries aren't really that special anymore because they're a dime a dozen. Albon is past, and now we're making a move straight past Zhou. There we go. It's Lewis on the cusp of peak confidence now. 2 seconds off the back of Magnussen. Should close that gap pretty quickly.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up. And just need a little more lift and coast.
And Stroll is back in front of Perez. That's good. Let's keep Stroll and Perez fighting. Give George a chance to scamper off. It's probably going to be a very comfortable win for him tonight, unless, you know, safety cars keep closing the field back up. But even then, a lot of work for Lewis to do just to get back into contention for the podium. Should be able to do it, but it's a long way to go yet. But we have got him into peak confidence now. Magnussen potentially out of DRS range here. Let's see if that rear wing opens in front of us. It does not. So we'll have him on the main straight. Alright, next up Schumacher and Ricciardo. Perez back in front of Stroll, but the gap now up to 3.3 seconds. And the tyres are holding up pretty well for Russell at the moment. Can we take one of these Alpha Tauris here on the main straight? If we can get both, that would be even nicer. But we'll set for one. Ricciardo in front of Schumacher. And he's slotting right behind Mick. Let's see if we can jump in here.
Use the overtake.
Going to really push Lewis's tyres in this first stint. Try and get him through the field as quickly as possible while he has that confidence boost. Oh, sneaky move from Schumacher there as he tucked into the slipstream of Ricciardo, but we will go around the outside of the chicane. And now we've got a run on Ricciardo into the hairpin. Excellent stuff.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Let's just cool those tyres down.
Just a little. So just charge that back. Just need to make sure we keep these tyres in good nick.
It's going to be the Lewis Hamilton show tonight, Farah. We're going to be spending a lot of time watching Lewis as we try and work him back through the grid. Russell now nearly 5 seconds clear. Those tyres are really hanging on. They haven't overheated at all yet. Just sitting in the kind of peak window. The lower track temperature is definitely helping him out here in that respect. Let's get some full charge on for Lewis now that he's on the back of Hulkenberg, who is out of DRS range at the moment. Sainz just up in front of us, behind, with Piastri right behind him. And there is the bastard, Alonso. My new nemesis. Hulkenberg, all is forgiven. Well, not all, but you're off the hook for now. You have a temporary reprieve.
Yeah, we just need to
Still
make sure
George's
that,
tyres are
we're
holding on
that tyre.
beautifully with the temperature. And look at the gap. You can see there is Perez just holding up a huge queue of traffic. I mean, we are kind of out of sequence with engines here. We gave... Well, no, we put the older engine back in for Russell, didn't we? He's just absolutely crushing it right now. I did put the older engine back in, didn't I? You sure I did? Yes, I did. Yeah, 87%. Alonso the Plonso. Needs a bit of work. Alonso the Plonko would perhaps be a little bit more appropriate, but even so, it still needs something.
Just keep the pressure on. You can do this.
All right, let's make a move on Hulkenberg here if we can. Let's take a quick look at the weather as well. Still looking around about lap 42 for the rain to facilitate the, or necessitate the change to inters. And we get past Sainz, he doesn't squeeze us too badly. Piastri up next.
Just think about lift and coast efficiency. Just charge the pack.
It's up to you what you call him. No, that is true. Mr. What? It's up to me what I call you. Mr. What? Right. Did we get the DRS or did we give it to Piastri? We gave it to Piastri. Okay. Who definitely seems to be coming into his own a little bit more this season. He was appalling in season 1. Alright, we've got a lot more fuel saving to go with Lewis. We barely saved any fuel because we kept pushing him in between. But we're 5 seconds off the back of Alonso now, so let's start working towards closing that gap. See, Alonso is doing a 1:16.7. Got the gap to 7 seconds now between Russell and Perez. And Stroll has retaken second place, which again is going to slow down the Red Bulls. And everyone behind the Red Bulls. Look at tyre wear. Surprisingly, Russell's tyres are in better shape than Perez, considering he's been pushing his tyres pretty much this whole time. Hamilton's are pretty comparable as well. So the cars in front. I'm liking that, that's good. Right, 4.4 seconds the gap. We are lapping about 6-7 tenths faster than Alonso. So we are closing that gap. And we're pulling away quickly from Piastri. 2 seconds ahead of him already. So we'll just keep an eye on this battle for second while Hamilton is in some clear air and playing catch up still. There is Hamilton in the background, hunting down Alonso, getting ready to enact El Plan on El Planner. We ride on board with Verstappen, watching the fight between watching the fight between Checo and Lance. We're going to see Stroll effect an overtake here. Side by side through the chicane, and he is free and clear again. I really hope they fix the Perspex windshield transparency thing soon, because it is spoiling helmet cam for me. Not so much on these cars, you can't really see, it's a very small screen. Some cars don't have them at all, like the Ferraris or the the Alfa Romeos, but the Mercedes, the Alfa Romeos, yeah, that does not look good at all. Ferrari, they don't have them at all. Nor do the Alpines. McLaren's do, and again, just not as noticeable as the Mercedes ones, but does spoil the look of this, especially when they catch the light and suddenly start glowing brightly like that with Russell's. Oh, Gasly has jumped Verstappen. We completely missed that. Good on you, Gasly. Pace is starting to pick up a little bit in this front pack. I think there's a couple of cars that are pushing a little bit. And we are approaching the pit windows already. Just a quick look at the rain, and it now looks like it's coming a lap or two earlier. The mediums are going to make it.
It's not going to be long now.
Copy.
The question is, do the drivers stay out? As Max retakes fourth place. Third in this little queue here. Schumacher is the first to box. So we're seeing soft tyre drivers boxing already. That I didn't expect to see. Evening, Ben.
Just use the
Start
tyres.
to really push these tyres now, seeing as they're going to be coming off the car in a couple of laps. I think Perez being ahead of Stroll is now the right thing for us. I think the mediums are now probably potentially getting a little bit quicker than the softs. We'll see. We'll see what the gap is like. Am I thinking of doing an undercut with Lewis? I'm boxing both drivers in a couple of laps. Lewis started P20 and has already fought his way up to P10. Russell started P2 and has just romped off into the distance. But I can do an overcut or an undercut here. I've got the pace to do both. We've seen one car box so far. That was Schumacher getting off his soft onto a new set of softs. I'm going to kind of wait and see what happens with the cars in front, I think, with Lewis. Right, Russell is pretty much fully charged now, so let's put him into neutral. Lewis still has a little way to go on his battery. Sainz now past Piastri, but only just, and Piastri is fighting him still. Another disappointing weekend for Carlos Sainz. Another strong looking start to the weekend for Oscar. Verstappen has pushed really hard. Done a 1:15.2. He's broken nearly 2 seconds clear of Perez, whose tyres are really starting to struggle now. Okay, we're going to box George on this lap.
Box, box.
Yeah, stop.
As Oscar boxes. So we might see a little flurry of activity at the end of this lap. No other mechanics are out yet, apart from the Mercedes mechanics for George. We'll see what happens when he comes around. See if any other mechanics come out. Piastri's going to drop out in 19th. Schumacher still running in last place. Hamilton under 2 seconds behind this group in front now. Make that a second and a half. As Russell heads to the box. Lewis is now within a second. I am going to just wait to see what happens. No other mechanics are out yet. I get the feeling I should maybe have boxed Lewis. Yeah, I'm going to box him this lap, just get him out of the way, I think, of George.
Okay, Lewis, so box, 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 box. Use the overtake.
Yep.
See if we can at least put the moves on someone. The answer's going to be no. Right.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Understood.
He's going to bail out of this because he's boxing. Everyone else is staying out. That's good. We're out of the way of George.
Okay, Roger.
No, George, not Roger. That's a very good stop for Lewis. 2 seconds.
Just be careful, traffic, pit exit.
Evening, Anthony. Good to see you. Right, where is Lewis going to come out? And we do see some Alfa Romeo mechanics coming out. They are for Bottas in the background. There is Hamilton. We get out ahead of Tsunoda. So we're back down to 14th. We've only lost 4 places. That's not bad. And you can see how far ahead we are of Piastri. We are 9.5 seconds clear of Piastri. So that's comfortably worked out for us. Alonso still tucked in behind Norris. Russell within 2 seconds of him now. Oh, still not at the temperature yet. But so much more traction coming out of that corner. We're not even using the battery yet, and you can see how much we gain there as Ocon dives into the pits. Ocon going for another set of softs. Here comes Lewis. I don't think we're going to get ahead of Ocon. It'll be close. And he's right in front of us.
Push and hold, overtake.
Yep.
And that is Ricciardo dispatched. Just finished 3rd and 7th in your 2nd season in Bahrain. Who are you with again? I forget which team. Was it McLaren? Or are you with Mercedes as well? I can't remember. As Max boxes. And goes for another set of softs. Russell sets a new fastest lap as he gets past Alonso. Hamilton gets past Ocon. It's going to be close. Can we undercut Ocon? Not Ocon, sorry, Verstappen. I don't think so. But again, we shouldn't be too far behind him. A couple of seconds. Are you with McLaren? Russell's tyres are up to temp, and now so are Lewis's. Good stuff. Magnussen just overtook Verstappen. And that is Lewis out of battery. It's put him into full harvest.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Russell lining up Stroll. Goes around the outside of turn 1, which becomes the inside at turn 2, and he is through. And we'll put him into top up now.
Charge the pack.
Okay, the rain prediction has changed again. It's now looking more like lap 42 again. As Ocon tries to squeeze his way past.
So just charge that pack.
Magnussen should hopefully be easy pickings here.
Nice
He's got DRS,
Nice job.
but his tyres aren't up to much as Russell gets
Let's
past
take a
Perez.
closer look. Heading down the straight, the gap opens up for them.
Oh, that's a brave move. That's a good move. That puts him straight on the back of Norris.
Up into third and contending for a podium place.
I think he's going to get Norris as well. Yes, he does. He has got Norris. So he's chasing after Leclerc and Gasly now on their mediums.
So let's take a look at the replay. It was George Russell involved. The opportunity begging to be taken. And George Russell
driving
says
beautifully
thank you
again.
very much.
Oh, hello.
It's turned in on me.
Now it looks to be Lewis Hamilton involved in that.
God damn it.
Now this was at turn 1. Cutting it
So
so
bloody
close.
harsh again, isn't it?
And the impact on the car, it's
That might be
quite
our
clear.
fault. I'm not sure. I can't really
think
tell
there's
from
a
that
lot
angle.
of doubt as to which car came off worse there.
But we've got front wing damage. And we've got a penalty. So, so it's a 5-second penalty at our next stop. That's not great. Combined with a front wing change, which we're going to need to make because of the rain. Do we even have a spare front wing? We might not even have a spare front wing. No, we do. We do have spare front wings. Okay. But that's not ideal. That's dropped us down into 13th. Got a bit more work to do again. And that's going to hurt his confidence a bit as well.
So Alonso's just pitted.
Right. Alonso boxes. We should be able to get past him here. Slow stop. Bastard. but we are going to jump him. Just is enough. That's the fastest lap for Danny Rigg. Where did that come from? Cannot let that go unanswered. As George is going to try and take both cars here. When he gets sharp, Perez boxes, Hamilton gets Magnussen, and Russell gets Gasly. And Russell is into the lead,
So that's correct.
as Max sets the fastest lap.
Discharge the pack.
Understood.
Hamilton has undercut Perez. But again, only just. And then we have that 5-second penalty at our next stop to worry about as well. Podium might be a bit of a stretch for Lewis. We are currently 16 seconds off with a potential wing change and a 5-second penalty on our next stop. There's still a lot of ground to make up.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Spend a little bit more time focusing on Lewis again. Right, that Ferrari is ripe for the picking.
So let's get after it.
We go around the outside. And power on through. Good stuff.
Now just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Understood.
Make sure to keep these tyres in good nick.
So what is the fastest lap right now? Let's have a look. Fastest lap is 1:14.3. That is quick. That is seriously quick. So still a bunch of cars actually in front that need to box again. I think the mediums will keep going. I don't know about Norris. Norris might have to box and box soon. But we are closing down the gap to Leclerc quite quickly at the moment. As you can see, he's doing 1:17s. We're doing 2 seconds a lap faster while we're tucked up behind Ocon. As we now complete that move, it's Lewis back into peak confidence. Let's go back into top up. Not even at half distance in this race yet. We've already had quite a lot of overtaking and a little bit of drama here and there as well.
Rain is
And
imminent.
there is the wet weather warning, so we are getting very close. It's looking like lap 40 might be the lap that we need to box on. So running out of laps on these tyres. We're going to up the tyre pace for Lewis.
We're not worried about using the tyres up.
Russell, we're going to keep going as he is. Doesn't need to go any harder than he is. Lewis still has ground to make up.
Use the overtake.
Very clear of Ocon. Leave him to the attention of Perez as we chase after his teammate. And we set the fastest lap just before the rain falls, which is really good. A 1:13.7, that should be secure. We're going to have an almighty push with Russell in a lap time, but I don't think we need to now. Max gets in front of Norris. We're going to be on the back of that McLaren very soon. As the rain starts to fall, it's going to be very light, very slow to, add, dampness and squibbliness, if that's even such a word. Slipperiness is the word I'm looking for, to the track. Oh, God damn it, Perez.
Let's give it everything we got.
Don't really have enough battery for Lewis to reclaim fastest lap despite getting that little bit of DRS there. Can George do it? Don't think I activated the push quick enough. Nope, George can't take it, so I think we've lost the fastest lap. I think Perez is going to steal that from us.
Charge the pack.
We'll keep pushing just in case we can do it without that. But yeah, I think Perez has taken that from us. On 13.5, I thought 113.7 would be safe. Apparently not. Got George into peak confidence. Yeah, he's not quick enough. Alright, back into fuel save. We'll keep burning the tyres, might as well. Let's go into fuel save for Lewis.
Increase in lift and coast.
If we're really, really lucky, we might get enough DRS here to maybe challenge for the lap with Lewis. But given the water on the track, I don't think it's going to happen.
And think about less lift and coast.
As Leclerc has boxed. He's gone for Inters early. Oh, and it's a slow stop as well. Oh, what a shame. This is the lap unboxing George and Lewis.
So box. Copy, box.
As Norris boxes as well.
We have your pick confirmed.
So this lap.
New inter. So just charge that pack.
Overtake will be available.
Alright, copy that.
Oh, yeah. Pit options, I forgot. New front wing. And of course, the tyre, the 5-second penalty as well. So this is going to drop Lewis back down the order substantially
The box for a
again.
new set of inters.
But the track is now pretty much the perfect crossover point for Inter tyres at 0.7.
Just keep an eye on your mirrors.
We're going to see a lot of other cars starting to peel in.
Yeah, copy Lewis.
Okay, clean, organised stop.
So remember, white line on exit.
Not bad, considering we had the wing change and the penalty. Let's cool those tyres down immediately.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Copy.
We have still got DRS available.
Need to introduce a small amount of lift and coast. Just charge the pack.
Can we get close enough to actually
Yeah, we
take
just need to make
advantage
sure
of that before it disappears?
Click on that time.
happy to push now.
Copy.
As Max dives into the box. And so does Perez. Clean double stop and a quick stop for Perez there. That looked very quick. We just missed out on getting the DRS, and I don't think it's going to be around next lap. A lot of cars in front peel off. Hamilton back in the points. And that's it, no DRS now. It's gone. Might come back around lap 60, 62. Briefly, we shall see. But now it's down to just pure pace in the car. Still got a lot of fuel to save, but now we're into wet conditions. We should start to save that a little bit quicker. Keeping an eye on tyre temps. I don't want to overheat the inters if I can help it. How far behind are we now? We are 8 seconds off the podium and 12 seconds off Max. What do we predict with the sponsors? It was just 2 in the top 4, and we failed the fastest lap because Perez nicked it from us. Finish position streak 1 in the top 6. Yeah, that'll be fine. Got that one locked up. We're within a second now of Norris. And this is where it's going to get trickier to overtake. Where I wish I had a little bit less fuel saving to do with Lewis, but we had to go really aggressive to get a light car at the start, and then really aggressive with the fuel to help, the fuel burn, just to help him get through some of that traffic. So not ideal.
Use the overtake.
Past Norris nice and quickly here if we can. Cuts to the inside. Doesn't go for the move under braking. That's a bit frustrating. And that's us out of battery again.
So we're low on battery at the moment. Just going to need some lift and coast. Let's don't think about getting the pack back up.
Where the afternoon gets really slow and tedious for Lewis as he tries to claw his way through traffic.
So you can pick up the pace.
Unless something stupid happens, George has got this race locked up. So he will continue to extend his championship advantage over Lewis. And the rest of the field for that matter.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Temps are creeping back up again. Stuck in the dirty air. Cool them down while we are harvesting. The longer it takes us to get past the cars in front that are slower than us, the longer it's going to take us to get onto the back of Perez and Verstappen. Although Verstappen is losing ground at the moment to everyone behind him. Perez has got the gap down to less than 2 seconds now. 1:18.6 last lap. 1:17.0 for Perez. You can see the fuel saving is definitely easier in wet conditions. George's fuel save is almost finished. In fact, I can probably stop fuel saving altogether now for George. And Lewis has saved another half a kilo in just a few laps. Norris is starting to drop off the back of Alonso, so we need to think about making a run at him.
Keep the pressure on Lewis, you can do this.
Really want to save more fuel, but we need to increase our braking distance, or shorten our braking distance, if we want to really have any chance of getting these moves done, which means putting the fuel burn up. Braking this time. There we go.
And think about increasing the lift and coast just a little.
Alright, so we're past Norris, onto the back of Alonso. A bit more recharging, a bit more fuel saving, and then we'll go again. As Alonso is starting to drop off the back of Ocon. Ocon and Leclerc being as close as they are is going to cause a bit of a problem. We need them to separate out a little bit, ideally. And Ocon is dropping off the back of Leclerc straight into the clutches of Alonso, who throws it up the inside. Just got to be careful we don't leave ourselves vulnerable to Norris while we're just cooling and charging.
Just push.
24 laps to go. If we can be efficient getting our way through the traffic, then second place for Lewis is still on. I'm not so sure we are going to get DRS back. I think the dip around lap 60 odd is not going to be enough to trigger DRS again.
Pick up the pace.
Oh, Alonso's definitely gone on a bit of a push. He's got himself in front of Leclerc now. He knows Lewis is coming for him. He's like, no, I'm going to get away. I'm going to get away. As he tries to make a move on Gasly, he's really pushing right now.
Close up.
Alright, let's get ourselves past Ocon. As we ride the ham cam. No lunge to the inside this time. I think Ocon has started pushing in response. And it's not enough. We are through and we are maxed on confidence now for Lewis, which is exactly what we need. George just poopling around at the moment, comfortably ahead of Verstappen, nearly 17 seconds clear. So we're going to try and make a lunge on Leclerc around the outside. Got him under braking. And we're going to keep pushing as Alonso is now clear of Gasly, almost a second clear. And that is us a second clear of Leclerc. So let's go back into top up. Let's drop the fuel burn down. Let's go down on the tyres again. Just to cool them down to normal rates. And then we'll put them back into the next level of push. Now 1:17.1 for us. 2.5 faster than Alonso. 2 seconds faster than Perez and Stroll. And we're just 9 seconds off second place now. 21 laps to go, including this one. So we'll look further down the order, see if there's any interesting little fights developing. Leclerc and Ocon not really close enough to be in a fight yet. Gasly and Alonso are scrapping again. Behind Sainz is Piastri. Still, those two have been glued together for most of this race. They're at 5 seconds clear of Hulkenberg, who is 5 seconds clear of his teammate. Then the two Alpha Tauris, keeping close again. Ricciardo and Schumacher, they've been together for most of the race. Tsunoda in 17th, Bottas right behind him. Albon not far off, and Zhou a long way off at the back. The only driver to have been lapped so far, and only by George. Those tyres are cooled down, so let's start pushing them a little bit more again.
And let's push.
And no matter how well we do, we are going to have a loss of confidence from the board. Because we've gone 7.5 million. Well, let's see, what do we have? Is it about 1 million left? A couple of 100,000 left. We've probably got about 7 million into debt over the course of this weekend. We're going to alleviate a big chunk of that straight away with our sponsor payouts, but even so, it's still going to be a loss of some confidence. Whether it triggers a full loss of confidence or not, I don't think it will. If we're lucky, if we can get a good result out of this, we might still keep high confidence, but yeah, financially they're going to be very disappointed in me. Of course, it is going to slow down our development a little bit, because we're going to have to wait till we can actually get money back in the bank before we can go ahead and start any more projects or build more parts. We have got stuff already in the pipeline that's been bought and paid for. Just got to wait for it to be made. Yeah, this is definitely going to put a little bit of a crimp in our plans. Gasly falling away from the back of Alonso now, 2.5 almost, and Lewis is closing in. Start working that battery again.
Charge that pack.
Just going to put George back into neutral. His fuel burn now is done, as you can see. He's now in positive fuel with plenty of time to go. So we will have some fuel to splurge with George a little bit later on, if we feel the need. And Lewis down to just 1.2 kilos under, which is just under a lap. At 1.4 kilos a lap of fuel. We've lost a bit of time to Verstappen. We're about 11 seconds behind now, 10.5. That's okay.
Use the overtake.
Let's see if we can get an inside lunge. Nope. Not quite close enough. Alonso on the back of his teammate now. We're going to chase him all the way up to the podium here. Who's going for the move? Doesn't get close enough under braking. Might get him here at the chicane. Gets alongside. Got the battery on exits. There we go. We're up to 6. And we've closed the door. So let's cool the tyres down again. Let's go back into fuel save, and we'll go back into top up.
And just have a think about getting the packs
as we
back
go
up.
hunting the Astons. You've all gone very quiet in the chat. Are you
we're low
engrossed in the
battery
race?
at the moment.
Or are you like Farah and a little bit sulky that Hamilton's doing quite well?
And you have overtake available.
You're watching and playing the new leaders on Civ 6. Yeah, that got added to the extra and premium catalogue, didn't it? I've been umming and ahhing about getting that game. It keeps popping up in sale for like £6 for the game. This is like, yeah, I think one of these days I'll probably just pull the trigger and buy it at that price. Russell owns Hamilton yet again. Well, Yuda, there's a bit of a a bit of a difference in the fact that Russell started P2 and was into the lead by turn 1 and has just been there ever since. Hamilton started P20 because of penalties, and has fought his way up to 6th. So the result in terms of the position between these two was never in doubt, but it was a question of whether we could get Lewis back on the podium. And not too far off. We are running out of time though. Just 15 laps to go.
And we'll push.
And Ben's just watching. Alright, Stroll is trying to break away from Alonso, or is that just Alonso going slow? That's Stroll trying to break away. Trying to push onto the back of Perez a little bit, I think. Gap for Russell now up to 20.5 seconds. Although he's got a big load of traffic coming up in front of him, from Bottas all the way through to... Well, by the time he gets through, he will probably get past at least one of the Haas's as well before the checkered flag.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up. We can drop the lift to coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Let's go after Alonso. Well, 1:17.8 on the last lap for Stroll there. And Alonso picked his pace up a bit as well. In fact, he's all over the back of Stroll now. Again, he knows Hamilton's coming and he's trying to put another car between us. Check tyre wear. All pretty comparable. I think we've got enough left in this race for us to use and abuse what's left of these. Use these inters now with what's left of the race. course, all this pushing has been putting a little bit of extra strain on the engines. So it has put a bit more punishment onto this new engine for Lewis than I wanted to, but it's been necessary and ultimately will be worth it, I think. Not least in terms of the sponsor payouts. Oh, hello, we have got some DRS.
Think about left lifting coast.
Let's make sure we can capitalise on this. We're only going to have it for the briefest of moments. As we go alongside Alonso. Ooh, that was close. We've got him. We're in the detection point for the main straight. Can we get it before it switches off? It's going to switch off just as we're about to get it, isn't it? Yeah, it just switched off again. God damn it. But we have got ourselves in a position where we can take out both of the... Well, I say take them out. Take on and pass both of the Astons. There we go. So back into top up, back into fuel save. Leave the tyres.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that...
yeah, we'll leave the tyres as they are. We are 8.5 seconds off of Verstappen. 3.5 off of Perez. But we were able to use that little bit of DRS effectively to get past Alonso. And that's it. That was the little dip. And it came a little earlier than I was expecting, but it's been and gone. We will not see DRS again this race. All we can do now is hunt down the Red Bulls. And we are definitely doing that. 1.2 seconds faster than Max, 1 second faster than Perez. And a long way off George, who's got the bulk of the traffic done. He's passed Schumacher now, so Magnussen up next to be lapped. Season 2, aka George's year, says Farah. It's certainly shaping up to be that way. Yeah, George has been superb. Lewis had him beaten hands down at Baku. And it was tight in the races before that. They were kind of nipping at each other's heels back and forth. But since then, it's been the George show. You know, he was better at Monaco. Obviously, he survived the carnage that eventually took out Lewis at Barcelona, and he's been comfortable here, although under different circumstances. I think if they'd been side by side at the start, different story. We'll see what happens when we go to Spielberg.
His temps are getting high.
Now we'll keep the tyre push.
So let's get after it.
We're almost done with the fuel saving as well. I've probably done enough to actually just go into... There we go, yeah. We've hit 0 on fuel. 2 seconds to Perez, who has upped his pace a little bit. Still a slow lap from Max on the last lap, as he responded this lap. We've got Joe about to be in the way of Sergio there. There he is. And this will be, if, you know, the rest of the season plays out like this will be the second time we've taken George to a world title, because we did it with Williams in season 3 of our Williams playthrough in the previous instalment. Yeah, another slow lap for Max, 1:18.4. Again, a second faster from Lewis, half a second faster than Checo. That battery is slowly rebuilding as well. You're not going to get much more opportunity to use the battery as the laps tick down. There'll be 7 left when we cross the line. Podium is definitely on, but can we go that little bit further as we get past Joe? 1.8 seconds gap to Checo. I think Max might be just that little bit too far ahead, unless his pace really doesn't pick up at all. Getting Lewis and keeping him in peak confidence for large chunks of this race has also been kind of crucial to being able to do this. We're lucky we didn't lose more confidence than we did with that little coming together with Magnussen.
Use the overtake.
I don't think we dropped down a very high. Although we did lose a couple of positions in about 6-7 seconds. Plus the extra 10 seconds for the penalty and the wind change. So yeah, that cost us about 18 seconds, that little incident there. So we would be comfortably in P2 by now. Lewis looks at the inside of Checo. Hasn't got the battery to do it. Checo's defending. I've got nothing else to give you, Lewis. You're at max burn. Need you to have a lunge here up the inside.
So 5 laps remaining.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
Yep.
So just charge that pack.
Understood.
Max is just 1.8 seconds up the road. We're out of battery. I'm starting to worry if we're actually going to get Perez now.
But hot and temps, just going to need some lift and coast.
Yep.
We'll try and build the battery back up for a lap. Build that spare fuel up briefly. Perez is pushing. He's got to within a second now, or just about a second of Max. This is going to be a three-way scrap for second place. With 4 laps to go when we cross the line.
4 to go.
Yeah, copy.
Russell now nearly half a minute clear. And has cleared Magnussen. Can he get Hulkenberg before the end of the race?
And we can drop the lifter coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Okay.
Alright, 4 left. Hopefully the Red Bulls are going to fight each other, slow each other down. If they take each other out, that'd be awesome. Looks like Stroll is going to hang on and stay ahead of his teammate. As we get back within a second. See the sparks flying off the back of both of the Red Bulls there. Imperious stuff from George, says Barrett. Yeah, I'd say he's had it easy this race, hasn't he? He had the tyre advantage over Stroll at the start, and then was just able to just keep opening that gap up while Stroll was fighting the Red Bulls, and hasn't looked under threat at all in this race. Had to do a little bit of overtaking with the early pit stop, but nothing too strenuous. And ever since the rain came down, he's just been miles ahead.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
We're a second off the second place. Can we do this? Just trying to save a little bit of battery in the heavy traction zones.
Understood.
Here we go. Here's an opportunity. As Perez moves ahead of Max. Lewis was robbed though, and that hurt typing this. Yeah, I'm surprised, you know, your fingers aren't bleeding. Gee, that's not the place to try and lunge. This is where we go for it.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
See if we can get Max into turn 1. We've got a yellow flag. Don't be a safety car. It's a Tsunoda lockup.
This one is involving Yuki Tsunoda. Things look fine here. Struggling with the car.
Actually, this could be.
Unable to do much about it.
No, he's got back on track pretty quickly. I was going to say that could potentially have an impact on our fight here, but he's still a little bit too far ahead. As we get Max, we've got a lap and 3/4 to get Sergio.
You're doing a great job though. So currently P3.
Let's see what happened there. Now we're with Lewis Hamilton here.
That is a podium.
They decide to give it a go.
Can we go one
Up
spot
into
better? Maybe losing out to his teammate in the championship standings this season, but he is a world champion for a reason. And his driving has been fantastic in this race. All right, here we go. Final lap coming up. Lewis. You can do this. Going to go around the outside here. What a move. That was phenomenal.
Just introduce a little bit of lift at coast.
Saving the last little bit of battery for the exit from the chicane. George has won the race. It's going to be 28 seconds
Russell
plus
wins
clear
it.
of his teammate.
First over the line. And there we have it.
Didn't
Russell
quite
finishes in
get on the
first
back of,
place.
Hulkenberg there. Wasn't far off. Almost lap sight as well.
I don't think there was a single second of that race where they didn't believe they'd win it.
Perez is close, but he's not close enough. Lewis burns the last of his battery and takes second place. What a fight back from Lewis.
So we have taken off this, and that's a P2.
Driver of the day, without a shadow of a doubt.
Thank you so much for your consistent efforts.
Had to fight through
Really
the
impressive
entire
drive.
field to get back up to second. That was a hell of a race for Lewis. And a hell of a race for George. I mean, like I said, he just drove off and that was it. Into the distance, never troubled. Did what he needed to do to get another win. The only dampener is that we didn't get the fastest lap. That was stolen from us as the rain started to fall by Checo. There is George pulling in.
Have to say, George Russell looked excellent out there.
What a brilliant race that was for the team. They just did everything right, the driver included, of course.
That makes it all worth it, doesn't it? Seeing your team ready to share the celebrations. And up he goes, George Russell joining the podium lineup after a memorable Grand Prix.
It gets even better for the team, with both drivers scoring a podium finish this weekend.
Plenty of smiles for the cameras as the drivers can let off some steam here in Montreal. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And that's it for this weekend's F1 action here in Montreal.
Next time, the teams will be forging ahead at full throttle through the Styrian forest. The Austrian Grand Prix is right around the corner.
So, confirmation of the final results. George led pretty much from start to finish. Imperious stuff from him. He was just mighty. Did what he needed to do. Just kept it pointing in the right direction. And was a quick boy. Did exactly what was needed to win that race from pole. Lewis, what can we say? Phenomenal job from him. Up 18 places from the back of the grid. After taking a combined 34 place penalty for a new engine, 2 new ERS units, a new gearbox. Oh, actually, no, it's more than that. It was 44 places. 10 for the for the engine, 10 for the ERS unit, 10 for the gearbox, 9 for the farce that was the collision at turn 1 in Barcelona, and then another 5 places on top of that for his second ERS unit of the weekend. as we tried to get all of those out of the way in one go. And he fought his way through and took second place on the final lap with a superb overtake. In the exact same spot that Jenson Button took the win from Seb in 2011. Sergio Perez holds on to third place, holds off his teammate. Max stays fourth. 4 places drop for Stroll, the hometown hero, just not up to the task of fighting against the Red Bulls or the Mercedes in this Grand Prix. Alonso, we spit our name. Alonso up 6 places to finish in 6th. So good points for him. Good points for Aston Martin in general, actually, this weekend. 18 points for them. Gasly, disappointing for him, dropping down a place, only finishing 7th. Leclerc, a disappointing race for him, down in 8th place. Ocon did get himself up a point to 9th and gets 2 points. Lando drops a couple of places, but does hang on for another point for McLaren. Piastri, unlucky. Just didn't quite have the pace in his car. Again, a disappointing race for Sainz, qualifying outside the top 10, finding his way up to 9th because of penalties, and still dropping outside the top 10 by the end of the Grand Prix. If I were in control of Ferrari, I would be looking at getting rid of Sainz pretty quickly. Hulkenberg down 2 places to finish 13th. Magnussen stayed where he was. The Alpha Tauris dropping places. Again, this is Lewis coming through the field and getting past them. Albon does gain 1 place overall. Tsunoda drops a place and the Alphas stay where they were. Everyone up to and including Magnussen was lapped. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship following this result. So 216 points for George means he is now 53 points clear of Lewis. That is 2 race wins, 2 fastest laps, and an extra point on top that he is clear of Lewis as we head into the next Grand Prix at Austria, which will be round 10, almost halfway through the season. Leclerc stays 3rd with those 4 points, but Max and Checo both close the gap to him. He's just 4 points clear of Max and only 9 points clear of Sergio there. Stroll with his points does extend his gap over Ocon a little bit, and Alonso closes the gap to Ocon, his former teammate, and jumps over Carlos Sainz in the process as well. He's up to 8th place now. Sainz down to 9th with no points, and now is only ahead of Gasly on positional countback as they are tied following Gasly's 6 points. Another point for Norris keeps him comfortably in 11th and in with a shout of maybe getting back into the top 10. We shall see. And then no points for anybody else. It's all as before for the bottom half of the standings. Let's take a look at the constructors. So 43 points, just 1 off the maximum because we did not get that fastest lap. But we are now 200 points clear of Red Bull. And what can you say? 8 wins from 8. No, 8 wins from 9. I forgot about Barcelona. How can I forget about Barcelona? Ugh. Yes, so 8 wins from 9 races, but 200 points clear of Red Bull, a long way ahead of them. And Ferrari missed an opportunity to score good points again. They drop a long way off the back of Red Bull again, having made up quite a few points in the last race. Aston Martin scores some good points on Ferrari. That gap's down to just 30 points. Alpine trying to stay in the hunt. McLaren stretching their gap slightly over Haas, but as I said, I think McLaren are destined for 6th, and Alpine might be in with a chance of fighting Aston Martin for 5th and 4th. We shall see. And in the pit stop challenge, we had the fastest 2 pit stops, again by a couple of tenths of a second. So it's looking pretty good so far. Actually, just over a tenth of a second. So it does look as though Red Bull have maybe sped up just a touch. I don't know. It's tricky to say. Everyone seems to be kind of holding station at the moment. McLaren getting good points as well. You can see 5th and 6th for them. Alpine gets some points with Ocon. Ferrari gets some points with Sainz. That's the only points he scored this weekend. Alpha Tauri gets the points with Ricciardo, and Stroll makes up the last of the top 10 with a 2.38. So in the DHL standings, again, comfortably clear of Red Bull, who have extended their lead over McLaren. Ferrari lose ground again. Alpine closed the gap to them by 2 points, but not by much. AlphaTauri still ahead of Aston Martin and actually extend their gap by a point as well. Alfa Romeo have their 9 points. Williams and Haas yet to score in the competition. And there are the fastest laps. A 2.091 for George and a 2.094 for Lewis. Very close indeed. Let's take a look at the driver stats. So, George, 7 successful overtakes, 1 failed. That was after his pit stop and he started to work his way through the field again. Lewis, I'm curious as to how many overtakes he's going to have here. 28 overtakes. Wow, that is phenomenal stuff. 14 failed, 5 successful defences, only 1 failed. What an afternoon he had. 28 overtakes. That's a new record for us. George still holds the defensive record with 50-something, 53, I think it was. But yeah, that is by far and away the most overtakes we've seen from one of our drivers. And we've got some more experience for Teo, so that'll help with his development as well. As far as the sponsors go, well, we paid out a 25k bonus to George for another win. And we lost 35k from our sponsors because we did not get the fastest lap. But we did achieve everything else, so we come out with a net 4.68 mil at the end of the weekend, which is immediately going to be swallowed up by the fact that we dropped a ton of money on new parts for Lewis. Let's see how much we're in debt. Only $1 million. I thought we'd be a bit more than that. That's not too bad. Okay, board's not going to be happy. Let's see how unhappy they are. Due to recent expenditure, Mercedes is now financially in debt. Yes, we know. We've got a resolution or an update on the tension between Russell and Dudley. We'll check in on that in a second. The side pods and underfloor failed inspection. Oh, I don't know if we're going to get the new underfloors in time. And we don't have the money to make them either, so we might have to drop down a spec for George on that one for the next Grand Prix. Marcus and George have not improved, so they've lost some affinity. We'll have a look and see how much that is. I doubt it'll be that serious, but who knows? Let's have a look. Let's go to our staff. They've still got high morale. It's good affinity as opposed to great affinity. So it's come down a bit, but it's not earth-shatteringly bad. He's had a long time paired, as you can see, 74 weeks. But yeah, we shall see. That will improve fairly soon, I would imagine. Right. Can't do anything about parts because we don't have the money. So we can swap out these side pods, but we are going to have to go to an older spec of underfloor for George, unless we can get these 2 new underfloors dropped together, which I don't think is going to happen. Let's see. No, not even close. We're going to get 1, and I don't want to take 1 on its own. So George is going to be on an older spec underfloor for the next Grand Prix, unfortunately. And we've got 2 new slots available for research or development, and we've got no money to do anything about it. So there's not a lot we can do there either. Let's check in with our facilities, see how they're looking. Our design centre refurb is halfway through. 17 days to go till that fixes itself. So that'll be nice and happy and shiny by the time we have some money to actually spend on new projects for either this year's car or next year's car. Still need to get that last team hub upgrade in. That's 6.5 mil that we don't have. Boardroom could probably do with a bit of a refurb now, and we again don't have the money for it. It's just under 1 mil. Hospitality area is about to go kaplooey, and helipad isn't too far behind. We've got a little bit of time before the helipad needs a refurb, so that's good. We need to keep the sponsor money coming in at max rate if we can. Let's check in with the board. So we do still have high confidence. The race results are playing a huge part of that. But yeah, that's how much debt we went into over the weekend. 5.8. I thought we were going to go into more debt than that. We obviously had a little bit more cash on hand than I thought. But yeah, that's not great. It will take a while for the financial disappointment to disappear off. So we'll see disappointed, even though we will keep our finances clear, hopefully now, for the, for the rest of the season. It will take some months, I think, before that changes from disappointed to, you know, normal. Alright, we have 11 days to go until the next Grand Prix. Let's advance a bit of time, see what parts we can get in time, deal with our inbox. Yes, I know, we're still in debt. The board will continue to lose confidence as long as the team is in debt. Well, luckily we've got a Grand Prix in 10 days that will take care of that for us. Okay, we now have 3 sets of side pods available. Got some spare suspensions, which is good, because if we break one at the next race we need a replacement. Otherwise we're going to be stuck with an emergency manufacturing bill. And it's the same story with chassis. We now have spare chassis as well. We're okay on front wings, we're okay on rear wings, we're okay with the side pods, suspensions are sorted. It's just the underfloors. Oh, hello, we have got 2. Ooh, okay. Let's throw those on and hope we don't break one. That has given our cars a little bit of a boost again. So, nice. A little preview of the next Grand Prix as we get to Friday. Let's take a quick look at where our car sits now. We've just been pipped a little bit on the high speed. Dirty air tolerance remains the same, as does the acceleration. Brake cooling has been gazumped a little bit, although we've improved the engine cooling slightly with those side pods, I think. Total extra weight is still good. Okay, let's take a look at Red Bull in their home race, and they found some speed with those upgrades. They're up to 4th in speed and 5th and 7th in downforce, and their dirty air tolerance is still very, very strong. So they have definitely brought some upgrades here by the look of it. Let's have a look at Ferrari. Ferrari's downforce isn't great. They've improved their speed a little bit by the look of it. Who else can we look at? Let's have a look at Aston. Their downforce is very strong, so they've worked on that for this Grand Prix by the look of it. They're third and first now. Speed's improved a little bit by the look of it. DRS maybe, I'm not sure about the DRS. The acceleration still isn't all that great, and they are the team that have gazumped us in terms of brake cooling. Quite a bit, actually. Wow. So I think they've brought a very, very strong front wing to improve their brake cooling and their downforce like that. Okay, well, that is it for tonight. So, another exciting Grand Prix in some respects. A very, very easy Grand Prix for George, who extends his gap at the top of the championship to 53 points. We extend our gap over Red Bull in the Constructors to 200 points, and a hell of a fight back from Lewis from 20th to 2nd. And we've served those penalties for him now. We do still have a penalty pending for George at some point. We've still got that other ERS unit to equip on his car. And when we do, that will be a penalty. We're not going to do it here at Austria. That one we will try and hold off until the Hungaroring, because that should be a circuit where we will be able to recover that quite easily, I think. But yeah, there we go. That is another one in the books. So tomorrow night, usual time, 9 PM, I will be back for the Sprint Grand Prix at Austria as we power around the Red Bull Ring. So until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, consider dropping a like. If you're new, why not think about maybe subscribing, so you get to continue this career journey with us. And I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.